I still am not sure that you can say that.
If in the contract that Pat McAfee has, it's in there. It's in there.
He's got a list of words he can say.
He does. I mean, and none of them are fitting in the old school Baptist church.
Oh, well.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, guys.
So
what Baptist church?
I'm going to say...
Any Baptist church?
No, but I'm going to say more of the missionary...
Yeah, you could say it at Meadowbrook.
I know it gets said in the deacons meeting at Meadowbrook.
Sorry, Randy.
Bye, Randy. Sometimes.
No, that brother don't be saying.
Do you see Randy yelling at Jamie Grant?
I think it would be great. I think Jamie would cower down to Randy Gunner because he loves him.
Because he loves him.
Yeah.
Or
Or Randy hit him with the big King James Bible or something.
It had to be a big one. Like one of all-time coffee Bibles. Hey, can we start the show with bad news?
Yeah.
Bad news. Hey, good morning, everyone. Bad news is Tiger Woods' mother passed away this morning.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't remember her age, but I just read a little blurb from Golf Digest. At least it could have been last night.
She been sick?
She old. God bless her, but what a sweet lady.
She loves
He loved his mother.
Man, I hate that.
Yeah, so rest in peace. I can never pronounce her first name, so it's Miss Woods. It's Meemaw Woods.
Is she Asian?
She is.
Asian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the way you start.
His dad's Earl, right?
Earl, yeah.
Yeah.
Earl was.
Yeah. I remember seeing him
on
Johnny Carson.
Yes.
With Tiger when Tiger was little, like 5 years old, something like that.
Hitting the golf ball and doing everything. Also remember my favorite golfer, Rory McIlroy, being on the show and hitting the ball into a washing machine.
He did do that. You're right.
Old school.
And congratulations because Roy won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Did 21 under.
That brother.
21 under.
Hey, I thought JT had a good shot, and I mean he played good golf.
He did. He was consistent.
He just didn't play 21 under golf.
You played what, 18 under?
Yeah, no, under? I think he was like 14 or something like maybe 16. But
so he fell off late.
Yeah, he fell off quick.
Okay.
Or at the lat. Well, probably Saturday he fell off. But dude, what about the guy that gave him a run for his money?
He finished what, 19 under?
Yeah. What's his name? Lowry.
Yeah. From
that brother.
And they're best friends.
He's one of us.
Right.
Lowry's one of us.
But he is, man. He's Irish.
Yeah.
And that brother loves drinking.
Does he? That's not what I meant.
Like Mark O'Brien drinking. I mean, like, seriously drinking. Just kidding, Coach.
What? I didn't even
No, because he'll get fined by the high school association. Mark does not drink.
Wait, how can you get fined by the high school association?
Why don't you ask the principal at North Jackson High School? So let me get this right. A couple things we're going to talk about the high school association today. And everything we're saying, we're getting off different news sites, right? Yeah. The Montgomery Advertiser, among others. And off Josh's own social media page.
Who's Josh?
He is the principal and athletic director at North Jackson High School. And these videos, which I got flooded with, like everybody and their mother was sending me this, which was great. And so at the end of the day, the officials, one of them flipped off the student section, leaving the North Jackson game, right? And it was some back and forth throughout the game and back calls and the officials saying, hey, I may not have called that. You guys might have been talking all game, that kind of stuff. And so when they finally said and done, North Jackson High School got fined and got on probation for a year. And the official flipped off the student section.
So they literally flipped it on them.
I like what you did there. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me, Jeff.
I don't understand that.
The high school association, I got to be careful.
I don't understand it. So just because, how many games have you been to where fans didn't yell at the refs or umps?
I've never been to one.
They always do it.
Any sport, any city in America.
Wasn't one of the quotes in that email that was sent that this guy on the sideline is staring at me?
The way he was staring at me?
He went to the head coach of North Jackson and said, this guy's staring at me. Do they realize how many people stare at them?
Here's my question. What was the guy looking like that's staring? I mean, are we talking about
death?
The Big Show? Are we talking about Chuck Norris? Are we talking skinny Steven Seagal?
Right. I'm scared of fat Steven Seagal.
I guess the person that's there makes a difference, but what a debacle in an abuse of power is what I'm reading.
So let me get this straight.
Okay.
Because I'm slow. Referees, bad game, apparently. The guy at North Jackson's mad.
Apparently.
And the email said, yes, we're frustrated we lost, but not blaming that on you guys.
Correct.
Wasn't a few bad calls, whatever.
Correct.
But the attitude of you guys, the entire game, it was like an ongoing saga, right?
And apparently the quote from the head official was, hey, I guess it was a close call. One of the calls could have went either way. And he said, hey, I may not have called that. I may have let that slide had you guys not been chirping at me all night.
Wow.
That's what you're going to say? Hey, and this is a mailbag episode, so feel free to put your questions out there. I made a Facebook post earlier on my private page requesting some questions. I got a lot of text messages. Yeah. Some of it we will bring up and talk about. Others, keep in mind, we do this show from the church. So there's some things that we can't talk about on the show, right?
So it was some those type of questions.
Yeah, it's some serious stuff. And not only that, that's just one thing with the high school association. Another one is the Marbury High School case, where the Alabama High School Athletic Association has been ordered to appear in court. Ordered.
Why do I like that?
So it's going to get, and that's from the Montgomery Advertiser. So let's go over this a little bit. So it comes down to, the argument is they could be held in contempt, okay, because this young man, they chose to use the Autauga County Board of Education school choice policy, okay, and not make a bona fide move that the high school association deems necessary to be eligible for athletics. Watson Kidd, that's the young man's name, and we're reading this from the Montgomery Advertiser. He played football and baseball while at Prattville, and he was looking to do the same thing at Marbury. But the association, and just like the association has stood firm on everything I've read, if when Meemaw puts this into play, yeah, they could care less. If you want to be part of the association, you're going to follow our rules. We don't give two hills of beans about school choice. If you're going to play athletics as set up under the high school association, you're still going to follow the mandatory bona fide move rules, or you're going to be deemed ineligible. You can be put on probation. Heck, you could get blackballed. Ask Mark O'Brien. Wow. That's the road he was headed down.
Wow. So let me get this straight. They self-govern.
Absolutely.
They have no oversight by any state organizations, as far as governmental organizations. The State Board of Education.
None.
The state superintendent Dr. Mackey can't do anything.
None. Nothing.
To these people.
Nothing.
So they have nothing to do with it.
Each school, from my understanding, you guys feel free to snipe in here and put your comments and questions or whatever, so you can help us. You guys know more about this than we do, probably. It is an association that you pay to join, and thus by doing that, you have to abide by the rules set forth. And unfortunately, it seems that the rules are ever changing and ever evolving as it deems to their liking. So if there is, I'm sorry, there was another question popped up. It got my mind off topic. If there is an appeal process, like you can appeal. Obviously, you appeal to a local board. Then you have to get denied there to go to the big board down in Montgomery to get denied there.
Who sits on the local board, and what deems that?
It's
regions?
It's different district or region, yeah. So I'm sure it's all appointed or
chosen by
the high school association.
Why can't everybody let me ask you this question?
What, Scott?
Is this a valid question? why not have these committees made up of every coach in that district, in that zone? Why not? Why does they don't have every coach sitting on that? Every athletic director from every school, maybe, instead of just certain coaches and certain schools and certain people handpicked.
I don't know. Let's get some people on like Steve Smith. No, I'm asking. Steve's on the board.
Yeah,
he got appointed this or on this pass.
Okay,
so he is now officially on the on the board. So that's a question that Coach Smith would, I'm sure, have some opinions on and be able to give us a little more insight since he sits on it. I really don't know, but in some instances, I think the people on these boards have to be above reproach when it comes to integrity.
Sure.
Right?
Well, you would think.
So funny, you're preaching on integrity.
Yeah, right? I mean, you would think.
And at some point, self-interest comes into play. I can make a decision here, but it's going to hurt my own program.
Why cannot there be a division of the state board of education that oversees athletics?
I guess there can be, but again, this is a Alabama High School Athletic Association governed by itself. They make their own rules, and each school pays to be a part of it. I guess you pay, you sign up, and you're part of it. So you have to follow our rules, regardless of what you deem as fair or unfair. And you don't think there's favoritism involved?
Sure
there is, man. That's human nature. There's going to be favoritism involved. That's a great point. Scott Coley said because that would take away from the favoritism. It's all political BS. From my favorite chip man.
Why do schools not just say we're done? We're pulling out of this. Sorry, man.
You could, and there's other associations. You're right. There's another association in Alabama that a lot of private schools are in, which is a good option. I mean, it could people could jump from one to the other, and they could do something different or something better. Or I don't know. Again, I'm not saying do that. We're not here giving our opinions today. We're just bringing up conversations of stuff that's in the mail.
Asking questions.
Let's see, what is Matthew Cherry? Good morning, Matthew. The High School Association needs to have more lawsuits filed against them. It seems like the new executive director is a lot worse than the old one. Define a lot worse. I don't know. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, Matthew.
There was some rough stuff happening when the last one was in.
It's been 30 years. The 30 years of rough stuff. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think
Daniel Harper's watching. That brother's always good for an opinion.
They're just picking up the mantle where it was left off, right? This is what you do. This is how you do it.
And just like being elected mayor, right, or being elected a political office.
Okay.
You don't go to school to learn how to do it, right? You don't. Right, so a lot of it is on the job training. And it takes several years to understand how to do your job, I would think.
Yeah.
Like when you were first a senior pastor, you didn't know all the ins and outs of what it took to be a senior pastor. Because it's ever evolving, ever changing, situations change. Yeah. And as far as Heath Harmon goes, he didn't go through a class, right?
Sure.
He appoints people around him or gets a good advisory board. But the people he brought on staff, his number one hire was Ron Barkley, someone he trusts. His right-hand guy, somebody he feels comfortable with. Yeah. But again, someone with no experience as far as the ins and outs of the high school association from the internal workings.
Right.
Been involved in athletics for a long time, so he understands the outternal workings, what it's like to be at a school governed by this association. Now, give me the job. You think I'm going to know how to do it better? Of course not. I don't know the ins and outs, right? So all I can say is a lot of the rulings, and this is a hill that I will die on. Mark O'Brien and I had a conversation we have often about. I tell him stop dying on every hill.
Yeah.
He's like, screw the hill. I'm going through it.
Yeah, right.
Right. But this is a hill that I'm willing to die on, regardless of if what you're doing, and this is directed right at the high school association. Heath Harmon, Ron Barkley, whoever else, credentials be damned. I don't care. If what you're doing is not in the best interest of the kids, you're doing it wrong. You should be making decisions. That's what's best for the kids. Not that I have a bone to pick with this head coach or this administrator or this program. Let's try to have some integrity. Take all that away. What is the best thing for the kids?
Yeah.
That's my approach. That's my opinion. It's just an opinion. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but you can't make me think if it's all these things is about sportsmanship and fair play. How many thousands of times have we read this over the years? Because one thing when we're doing broadcasts in the playoffs, we have to read X amount of commercials or ads or whatever you want to call these things, statements by the association. It's all about sportsmanship and fair play, which I'm all about. I mean, we've never once hesitated to read one of these things, have we?
Nope.
We overly read it more than we require to read. We do it more because it is a good, but shouldn't you have to also abide by that?
You should.
And the travesty that was at Coosa last year, and this thing, we're not making this about Coosa, but the travesty that happened to all those kids was no way appropriate. It hurt so many people that didn't need to be hurt, right? It touched so many lives that you cannot tell me that was a decision that was made to benefit the kids. You can't make me believe that.
No, not a chance in this world.
And it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. And again, I've had these conversations with some high-end coaches, and I won't say their names. Some of them are very familiar with the association. Some we've had sitting in here before. Mm-hmm. One we've had sitting here a whole lot. And he's like, well, the adults, the people in charge, the people who know the rules, understand the rules and have to abide by the rules. And it's up to them to be sure that this doesn't happen.
Well, how's that fair when you keep moving the goalpost?
Well, that's a fair point. They've already been sued by another. Yeah, I mean, there's a few different lawsuits out there, Matthew. 3 or 4 going on actively in court currently down in Montgomery. Mm-hmm. I don't know the ins and outs of them. But when it comes, you just can't make me think that it is about the kids. The things going on in North Jackson, is it unfair? Sure. It's a, $300 fine and a year probation over. You can't make me believe that that's anything. Luckily for them, it doesn't affect the playoffs. It doesn't affect any games or wins or nothing like that. So it doesn't affect them going forward. But it's still a matter of right and wrong, and I hope the principal and athletic director follows through and stays the course. And
what happened to the referee that was flipping everybody off?
Nothing I've read, and I would only be able to read it in the media. I have no idea. I don't know them, but I would think that there's video of it. Something would have to happen. Right, you'd have to. The guy would have to be reprimanded in some kind of way. There's no. How can you do that? You can't do that.
Yeah, regardless.
Sure.
If it was a bad night and the attitudes.
Everybody has bad days.
Sure.
Man, and I'm not saying the guy should get fired and never be able to.
Not at all.
That's not what I'm saying at all. But there has to be some kind of reprimand come down for that behavior, an apology. How about a written apology?
Yeah. I think that would suffice.
I think that'd be okay. Yeah, and I think from everything I'm hearing from about this principal, he's an unbelievably reasonable guy, a fair guy,
and would take an apology.
I think he would. I think he's that kind of human being. He would take an apology.
Well, how can you hand down? And I'm not making it about Kusa, but I want to know because I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't know. How can you put in your statement, we will reinstate you being eligible for the playoffs, or if Mark O'Brien is not associated with the school or football programs at all
in any capacity? Yeah,
how can you put that in that ruling or that statement?
Maybe we should get one of our sponsors on, Kyle Pierce from Pierce & Pierce Attorneys at Law, and ask him. I don't know, because what the accusation was had nothing to do with Mark O'Brien.
Right.
His name was never in any of it.
Right.
So it seems to me there's some bitterness or there's some vindictiveness going on the information we have, right? I mean, we don't know that we hold all the cards and have all the information. I think that I have as much insight in this particular case as anybody on the planet.
Sure.
Right? And you talk about hurting a program?
Right.
Is that the goal, to hurt the program? I don't know. It's extortion, somebody says.
Sure sounds like it.
Samuel Ray says suspended and public apology. That's something I could get behind. Yeah. But, and the Kusa situation is still ongoing, right? That's still a court proceedings.
Right.
And I don't have anything to report. I don't have any inside information I can talk about. But just know that Kusa is still screaming from the rooftops that they're innocent of these ridiculous charges. Of course, the season's over, right? That's 5 games that Kusa won't get back. There's, and right now, does it hurt Kusa Christian's enrollment for them not being able to be in the playoffs?
Could.
For them not wanting Coach O'Brien to be their coach?
Very well.
He's all in, right? Mark's all in. He's still the head coach. That's unbelievably hurting Kusa, because what are there some kids locally, and I know of some that live in the district that can go to Kusa already, right? They go to other schools, but they live in the city limits of Gadsden,
right.
And one in particular, and of course I won't mention the young man's name. Impact person, impact player, impact athlete, the kind of kid you want on your team, right. The kind of kid you want in your school, chose not to go to Kusa
because it
can't be in the playoffs, right? Because the more games you played, is making the playoffs going to help you get a scholarship? It will help because you got more games, yep. Right? You got more opportunities to show what you have.
Sure.
Right? That's not the end-all, be-all as far as getting recruited, because it's not. They're going to find you, right? Recruiters are going to find you. 1A through 7A, you're going to be found if you can play ball. There's camps, there's other ways. But the fact is, it's truly hurting the program. It's hurting Kusa Christian. It's hurting North Jackson. It's hurting, is it Ottagaville? Is that the other school that we know about?
Sounds familiar.
Or, not Ottagaville, Mulberry. The kid transferred from one school to another, from Prattville to Mulberry.
That's a good statement by Miss Coley.
Go ahead and read that.
Heather says, the fact that they are using the Alabama High School Athletic Association program to go after innocent kids who put their heart and souls into these programs, all to be vindictive, to get even with the coaches they do not like. Mm-hmm. They create a buddy system between other coaches, superintendents, specifically to keep certain teams out of the playoffs for personal gain. And they do this for power control and it's a complete disgrace to the program.
Strong statement. Very strong statement.
Stanfield says, referring to, I guess this is North Jackson, punish the parties that are involved, but not the kids, completely bogus.
Yeah,
I think that's right for Kusa too.
Yeah, for sure. And you can make that about any of the schools.
I mean, how I just don't understand how you, again, move the goalpost. This is what we want you to do. Okay, well, you've done that. Now we don't like it that you've done that.
Yeah.
We're changing that, and so now this is really what that rule meant. This is what it really means. Well, don't believe what you read in black and white, because that's not really true. I don't.
Again, we're having open conversations here, so feel free to jump in. But the one thing that I go back to, Jeff, is what about the seniors on this Kusa team?
That'll kill you.
Stolen, right? And this is a team that just came from playing for a state championship. Should have won the state championship, to be honest.
Yep.
Bumped up from 1A to 2A. Making a run, ask Pell City, right?
Yeah.
Is Kusa legit, right? Ask Fife. Fife quit.
Yeah.
Look. Fife quit in that ball game. 100% quit. They did. Came in. I was there. I called it.
Yeah, you can't.
They quit.
You watched the whole thing.
I would have lost everything I own if I would have made a bet. There's no way Fife gives up in any ball game. That's not who they are. That game, they quit. They quit.
Well, you look who went to the state playoffs. Team that won.
Tuscaloosa Academy.
That you've got Coosa Christian throttled.
Yeah.
I mean,
that team would have played for a state championship, and I think they would have had a great opportunity to win.
Yes.
I'm not saying they would have won the state championship. I'm thinking
you can't predict
that they would have got to it, and it was a very deserving team from the South.
Yeah.
Right, very deserving team, and those kids deserve to be there. They won a state championship. Good on them, celebrated.
Absolutely.
Coosa was the best team in 2A football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And those kids did not get the opportunity to fulfill their dream because of a vendetta. At least that's the way it looked, right? That's the way it looked. And regardless of what the ruling was, the best interest of those kids who had nothing to do with the alleged, what's the word? Yes, activity. With the alleged activity, those kids had nothing to do with it. And yet, they had to take the full punishment.
So you tell me this.
Yeah.
Answer this. You mean to tell me out of all the schools in the state that are a part of the Alabama High School Athletic Association don't have kids that are trained in the off season by other coaches that have side gigs to do strength training, agility? You mean to tell me that's not happening in every county somewhere at some
everywhere,
point?
especially baseball. I mean, hitting the pitcher clean. But again, what was said was that this young man transferred in from Glencoe, participated in sport-specific activity. And it was clearly not the case.
He didn't hold a football.
There was none out. There was no. It was strength and conditioning, which is not governed by the association.
But it is
apparently. But in the past, there's nothing you can do to make that right.
No,
nothing you can do.
No, it's over. I mean, the effect has already happened.
Correct. But now you want to punish the kids, so you cannot be in the playoffs if this coach is associated with the team. Legally, I don't see where that's at. And again, I would love to have an open conversation with someone from the association that could talk about it, but they won't because it's in court, right? I understand that. Hey, I can't.
Is there
comment.
a gag order?
I don't know, but open cases, I would understand. Hey, I can't talk about it.
Sure.
I prefer we not talk about it because it's still ongoing proceeding. I get it. Okay, I'm with that. Okay, cool, bet. I'm with you. And that goes from people up here like a Steve Smith who was on the board, right? Who heard one of the heard the appeals, or even above him, the ones who did the appeals down there at the governor after the central body. I get it. They don't want to talk about it right now. It's in court. And if there's something I'm missing. Tell me. Let me know. And when I say me, I mean us, the world, everybody.
If it's not illegal, isn't it unethical to make a statement like that, or a demand? What's to stop them from saying, well, he's still associated, and yeah, all right, you've served the 2 years probation, now you can go back in, but we don't like how Mark handled himself on X, Y, and Z this year as we're watching, and so we're going to reinstate that, and it stands that they won't be in the playoffs or eligible for the playoffs if he's still there.
Again, it keeps going back to me that these schools pay to be a part of association, and you're going to live by it doesn't matter if it's a civil liberty issue, right? So they're trying to control Mark O'Brien's livelihood as a head football coach. No, you can't be a head football coach. If you can't be a head football coach at Coosa, where you're currently employed, you can't get a job somewhere else. You're not going to hire you because the same situation is going to. No, you're going to be deemed ineligible because Mark O'Brien's your football coach. You're on probation
unless it goes to the right school. Is it? It seems to me that
maybe
they're trying. Let me phrase it this way. does it not seem to you that they're trying to position Coosa out of any type of victories or playoff wins or anything like that, that they think because Mark is their coach, they're that much better? And we know they have great athletes.
Sure.
But when you have a great coach, great athletes play great, they practice great.
Well, here's the thing. 4 years ago, Coosa was dead athletically. They didn't matter.
That's no secret.
Yeah, no. It isn't. So the fact that the program is where it is now is a credit to Mark, his vision, his leadership, the people he puts in place. And I think the association is more public school friendly. That's how I'll phrase it.
Seems to be a fair statement.
That they're more public school friendly. And if that's their stance, that's their stance. And the private schools know going in it's going to be that way. So it's not like because you got the competitive balance rules and all that. So, again, we're not giving you guys any answers, but the association is in the – just Google, right? They're in courts. They're in every publication out there right now in Alabama because of what's going on from North Jackson to Coosa Christian High School to Mulberry High School. Interesting. So we thought we'd come on and talk about it a little bit. Again, I'm not giving anything that hadn't already been said or I don't, or no one knows about.
Well, answer this question.
Okay.
This is from Matthew Cherry. He says, Jerry, do you think the ruling with Coosa had to do with them getting in trouble back-to-back years?
That's what they're saying, Matthew. But the fact is that in this latest altercation, let's call it, Mark O'Brien was not involved whatsoever in the accusation.
Right.
His name never got brought up to do anything wrong in this regard. The association put a clause in it. I read it.
I saw it.
That they will, and it doesn't even say that
they'll evaluate.
They will evaluate it. They will evaluate. If he's not there, then they will reconsider July, I think it is.
Involved at all.
Correct. Nothing to do with it.
At all.
And he could step down. He could be fired. He could move on. And that does not mean that they're going to lift that ban. Because they don't say they will.
Does that follow him to another school if he did go?
It could. Like, what is it in with the NCAA, just cause? It's just cause. So, Brian is very much how the NCAA does. You're 100% on with that, brother.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
That's a great point. You're in a car accident. You hit another vehicle. You're the only one that gets it. Oh, it went away. Uh-oh. It's gone.
So, again, I'm not saying that they would let them be back in the playoffs, but from the punishment, and Matthew, to get back to your question, it probably is. You're claiming like lack of institutional control, I think was dubbed in there. But you put nothing against the principal. You put nothing against the athletic director. You put nothing against the board. Just the head football coach of something that he wasn't even over. This is a private business on the outside. Had nothing to do with your head football coach. So, hey, but I'm not debating. I'm just saying. Here's kind of where we're at, and I'm not bashing anybody.
No.
I'm trying to get open conversations, and I appreciate you guys' questions and comments and that kind of stuff. But to me, it just all circles back to: is it fair for the kids? Is it good for the kids? Did it help the kids? The answer is no. That is not what's in the best interest of the student athlete, and that's what the association is supposed to be about, right? The student athletes. Are there coaches out there that intentionally break rules and do stuff wrong to put their kids in issues?
Sure.
100%. 100% that happens at every level. What's worse than Pee Wee ball? Look, you want to be honest? What's worse than that? You talk about cutthroat and Man, I want nothing to do with those, with the Pee Wee stuff,
we
man.
know a little bit about that from this past season, huh?
I stay as far away from that as I can. Same thing in high school. Same thing in middle school ball, high school ball, college ball, pro ball. Right? You have coaches trying to cheat the system intentionally. That's not what this instance is. It's not what it was at all.
So why are people not jumping on the bandwagon about North Jackson and saying bad things? It always seems to me when haters are going to hate, right?
Sure,
they're gonna hate on you. Coosa's winning. These people hate Coosa because they're winning, or they don't like Mark, or
that's easy to do.
We can understand that one, but it's a debacle, man. And when you cannot come out and publicly address, this is a statement, not from me, but when you cannot come out and publicly address and reprimand publicly your referees for acting in an unprofessional way, there's a problem. And
again, maybe we don't have all the information there. We're getting our information from the social media posts.
Well, the video
and the video of it looked to be you're number one to me.
Yeah.
And maybe they did do something to the kid. To the gentleman.
I hope so.
Maybe he got reprimanded and we just don't know about it. But the fact that
shouldn't we know that
they got fined and they are on 1 year probation is pretty ridiculous to me from the information that I've gathered from the articles I've read.
What's the probation? They're ineligible for playoffs?
No. There's on probation means if they get in trouble again, they will be something more serious.
Then we will do.
Yeah, it's more like probation as far as so nothing. They still get playoffs. They still get everything, right? They really lost nothing. Just on paper, they're on probation.
Yeah.
They had like a $300 fine.
Yeah.
Well, and North Jackson's one of those programs, man. Old school program. When North Jackson's good, it's good for high school football, right? Some of the battles they had back in the day, North Jackson and Scottsboro. Battles back in the day, man. North Jackson was just one of those teams. So the fact that we're still talking about this going forward, and this needs to come to a resolution very quickly with Coosa. It needs to come to a resolution very quickly with Mulberry, and it certainly needs to come some kind of. Well, I think the resolution is already done for North Jackson. It's all said and done. When
do they have to appear in court? When does
January 29th?
Is when the association's got to appear.
No. The decision was appealed. It was denied on the 29th, so they have to appear in court on February 26th. It says Judge Gaines has ordered the High School Association to appear in court on February the 26th. And here's what the rest of the article says right here. I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to appear in court and to listen to the reasons the Alabama Athletic High School Association has to offer as to why they should be held in contempt of the Montgomery County Circuit Court's order. Michael Kidd said in a statement to the USA Today Sports Network, I hope the court will issue meaningful sanctions to compel compliance with its order and attorney's fees. He happens to be an attorney, and it's his son that's this is all about. So,
that lays that fight against
someone who's not scared to back down, which I love. Yeah. And that's what Coosa is. They're not backing down at all.
Well, they
at
should.
all. And neither should North Jackson.
Nope.
Stand on your morals. Stand on what you say is right. I know that they used to be part of the AISA.
That's right.
And now they're part of the High School Association. So the AISA is much less. I want to be very careful how I word this. It's not as large of an association. They have much fewer or way less members, and mostly private schools. Maybe all private schools, as far as I have no idea. I think there's 3 different levels or 3 different divisions based on size. I think maybe 3 or 4 different. Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. So real quick. So I understand, and some that watch, the Alabama High School Athletic Association, or the Alabama Independent Sports Association? Is that what that is, or something? School Association. Yeah. So they're like Little League, basically, right? So we're all going to be part of Little League. We're going to play by the same rules as stated in Little League, or if you Babe Ruth or what we were Pony League, or whatever. So that's basically their job, right? We're all agreeing to play by the same rules.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And what else do they do? They just sit down and they're a governing body. They make sure that's all they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
They don't make your schedules.
No.
They make the playoff schedule.
Correct.
But they do not make your regular season schedules on any sport.
They put guidelines over how those things have. Hey, what's up, Philip O'Brien? They put rules in place that here's how you schedule, here's what you can do, what you can't do.
Okay.
All those kind of things, and it's up to you to do your own scheduling and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, but to be what? I don't know. It sounds like a tyrant. I'm not saying it is. It just sounds like a tyrant mentality. We want certain people to win. We don't want certain people to win.
Allegedly.
I mean, I'm saying that's what it sounds like, right? I mean, I'm
not at liberty to.
I'm just trying to figure this thing out, man. I don't know.
And it's sad when you can't be a member of the media and voice.
Be held over your head. You're
100%.
Your credentials are pulled, or it's a frustrating business to be in when it comes to dealing with certain organizations, because you can't say what's really true, or you can't say what you really feel,
because you worry about being having your credentials pulled, or not being issued credentials for the upcoming athletic season.
What if it's handed down because they get ticked off at us? You will no longer be not just have your credentials pulled, but the school that you're associated with will not be allowed to be a part of the playoffs or anything because you have these people working with you in the media.
Yeah,
that's the same thing, right?
It kind of is. Yeah, it kind of is.
Okay. I mean, God, I don't know. It sounds. I wonder what the salaries are.
To leave a principal position in the state of Alabama with tenure
at Oxford High School, it's a lot of money.
It is. I was told it is the second most powerful position in the state of Alabama.
The director of the association.
Yes.
Really? Mm-hmm. Because of the lobbying money?
Behind the governor.
Wow.
And ahead of Will Ainsworth. Ahead of the lieutenant governor.
Did you hear that, Will?
I would put up with that, Will. I mean, soon to be governor.
Yes, sir. I mean, Your Honor. Ribble.
Oh
my gosh. Wow.
What else you want to talk about? I had no intention of talking 50 minutes on the association, but it's worth talking about because it's in the news.
It really is. Well, I mean, nobody's talking about it anymore. I mean, all you see is North Jackson's cheating, Mulberry's cheating, Coosa's cheating, or whoever is getting in trouble. That's what you see, and then it goes away. Well, it's not going away for these kids. It ain't going away for all these students. I guarantee it. North Jackson right now today, those kids are talking about this.
Sure, they
still
are
talking about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think it's funny at all. I mean, if you're a grown adult, you got to act like grown adults.
And because it's in the court system, all you can do is wait. Coosa and Mulberry are held to the. If they're Catholic, they're in purgatory. All right, they're not like the.
Is Mulberry a private school?
I have no idea. I can't speak to that.
I'd like to know that.
I don't know.
Somebody tell us.
North Jackson's not.
No, they're not. Hey, who gets the Ohio State job?
Huh?
Let's see.
The defense coordinator?
Defense coordinator.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, no, this one says former SEC head coach emerges as the OC. The OC, the offense coordinator.
Yeah, because Chip Kelly left and went to the NFL.
Yeah.
And the defense coordinator left there to go to Penn State.
Where did he go? Las Vegas?
Chip Kelly went to the Raiders.
So he's making, of course, Chip Kelly's making good money.
Sure he is.
That brother's making money.
But he left being the head coach of a college to be the OC at Ohio State, won a national championship.
Yeah.
Now he's cashed that in, and he's going to work for Tom Brady. Tom Brady's one of the owners now of the Raiders.
Wow.
Hey, but they need a lot of work over there, bro. They got some offensive weapons. They got two of the best tight ends in the game, Michael Mayer from Notre Dame and our boy from Georgia, Brock Bowers. So they do incredible. But so they have to get an offensive and defensive coordinator. I'm not sure what direction they're going to go. You come off a national championship. You got tons of money. Very easy to recruit at Ohio State. They could probably get whomever they want.
So they're talking about. Let's see if I can get his name right. Joe Moorhead was a good fit. Used to be at Mississippi State, and then he's been at Akron for the last 3 years.
I don't think. I don't think. No, Matthew.
You don't think?
I try not to think. It gets me in trouble. No, I don't think that's a big enough hire for Ohio State. It has nothing to do with Moorhead's lack of coaching ability because I think he's very good. They just tend to make bigger, well-known name hires.
The guy from Miami, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Miami's got money, though. So if they like him, that's who Notre Dame opens up with this year.
Man.
At Miami. Catholics versus the convicts.
So you haven't talked about this. You have not talked on the show about Belichick taking the North Carolina job. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a home run hire for North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right? And his first hire was Freddie Kitchens, who stayed on the program, and to be sure he retained him, which is another great job. The guy was an NFL head coach for the Browns. Tons of NFL experience, tons of college experience, understands recruiting, understands that program there. Has been there for a few years now at North Carolina. Who doesn't want to go play for Bill Belichick?
Oh, my gosh.
He's known as a player's coach, right?
All you got to do is show him the rings, huh?
He's hard-nosed. They're going to recruit. They're going to do good over there in the ACC. I'm telling you, and the people that he's bringing in, it's incredible.
Well, if you're a young person, you're wanting to go to the NFL.
Sure.
Why would you not go to a guy that has every connection to every scout, to every program? Why would you not?
It's a no-brainer. It is a home run hire.
Somebody said that he went to North Carolina because that's just where a girlfriend was going to enroll in school.
Well, she's like 23 or something, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Good Lord. I did.
You seen him taking the walk of shame with his shirt off?
I saw him advertising for hymns.
Hymns downstairs.
So I don't know. I think it's a great.
Did you answer that question?
Which one?
Jared, has any other Coosa athletic programs got in trouble by the Alabama High School?
Not that I'm aware of. Who asked that?
Matthew Cherry.
No, not Matthew. Not that I'm aware of.
Do you think if they win, go deep in the playoffs in baseball?
Like last year, they were one game away from a state championship last year.
So you don't think that's been looked at? Not by them, but by people spying and wanting to cause trouble there?
Look who's watching. The Austin McGraw.
Hey, man.
I was just thinking about a waffle.
You want some chili? I know you're going to get something.
Hey, Namath Pitts is watching. I love that dude, man. So, you remember he used to have the show here in North Alabama. He just moved to Connecticut, right? You doing something with UConn or you moved up there?
What are you talking about, Northeast Alabama sports or something like that?
Yeah. Hey, man, he's a class dude. This is a good Christian kid, man. I wish nothing but the best of Namath, and we miss you.
So he's not doing.
No. He got a job up in. I think he followed True Love.
Hey. Go ahead.
He's doing his thing, man.
I do miss seeing those.
His interviews and stuff. Yes, man,
he did a great job covering the baseball tournament last year. Was it Chakalaka? I think.
Yeah, probably. The dude is really good, and I don't know what he's doing up there. I think he was doing something with the university. Maybe he's doing something for the University of UConn, and good luck to you, man. We miss you, buddy, for sure.
That's awesome.
We'll have to do a Skype interview with him.
Yeah,
get him on the show.
That's really cool. Well, we got several of those coming up, so we're getting ready to do some stuff in here, man. And I'm so excited of getting this fabric that looks like trash bags off the wall. I mean, it is not the theater stuff like it's supposed to be. It's got a sheen to it, and
that's because we ordered it from Sheen.
Temu. We got that more from Temu.
Oh my God! What else you guys want to talk about? I don't think it's really anything we could add to the plane crashes. I think we hit on. It's really we have nothing more to add to that. Unfortunately, it's tragic. Anytime you have loss of life,
oh my gosh!
It's tragic.
I mean, didn't they say this baby that was on the plane underwent a successful major surgery?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
oh man. Hey, let me ask you this question, and let me ask you, people watching.
I wish I would.
I'm asking you. I need to know.
All right.
He says I was trolling Jerry as always. It's always fun.
Is that Austin?
Yeah, that's funny.
Hey,
Brian called him out. Clots.
Just have my sugar-free syrup ready.
Do you think
the best sugar-free syrup in the game? By the way.
Do you think easy, Jerry? All right. Do you think that we're going to find out in the next few days? I mean,
you caught what I said. My boy Brian in the game.
Do you think that in the next few days there's going to be or next few months there's going to be a big story break about the conflict between Rick and Bubba?
Is there a conflict?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, okay, so they're the wives and the wife and the daughter and the son were starting. Bill had his son on the podcast. He's presenting a podcast, and they're all wearing shirts that says "Where's Bubba?" They have black shirts that just big letters says "Where's Bubba?" And so is that just asking the question that people are asking, or because the rumor mill is circulating?
What's the rumor mill say?
Well, the rumor mill is that there is a point of contention, and that because somebody even called the Rick Burgess show, which was fantastic, and said, "Love the show, blah blah blah," all that kind of stuff, and it is actually really good. You would enjoy it.
I don't watch.
You would watch. You would like it now.
I don't have enough time.
The format is really good. So I like Rick and Bubba.
Very radio-ish.
It's more radio-ish.
I love that.
Fun. I mean, it's really good.
You like the KAPOW radio show?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So exactly like that. But anyway, somebody called in and said, "Is Bubba going to release a tell-all podcast or a tell-all book about struggles?" And Rick answered it the best way I think he could handle it. He said, "Well, we've been together for 31 years. I don't know. Everything that has been said and done has been done in the public view on the show.
Sure.
I don't know what else he would have to say." So, I mean, he does nothing but talk positive about him anyway. But sure. I just wonder, because that's a big deal.
It is, but let me put it like this. You and I have been together about as long as Rick and Bubba. If I start doing a sports show from my home studio, does that mean there's scandal between us?
Somebody would say that.
Not anybody that knows us.
Yeah. Of course, they don't know I've been pushing you to do it for years.
Yeah.
Please do
it. Jeff, what happened to the TV?
Yeah, well, we got it's right here. It's in front of us.
We got one there. We got one big one in there.
Yeah, it's right here.
I got two in my garage.
We like to look at ourselves, and it's not
that thing's been turned on once this year.
Actually, we only turn it on when Jamie Grant's in here so he can look at himself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
actually, the last time
all that's coming back. That's going to be totally.
We're redoing the studio.
It's going to be pretty, man. It's going to be really nice, and I'm excited about it. So. When you got a low budget show like we got, you just got to save up money.
But we thank you to our sponsors.
We do thank you.
God bless you. More sponsors coming soon.
Man, I'm excited about that too. Well, Joe Taylor Show. Some of y'all if you want a show that'll get you some views and get your name out there in front of people every 2 weeks, you need to sponsor that Joe Taylor Show. I'm telling you, need to jump on it.
Jeff, jump on this question that Matthew just asked me. What's the thoughts about the tariffs being paused now for Mexico and Colorado?
Canada.
What happened in Colorado? They put a tariff on
marijuana. Well, from what I understand is they have both said we will step up our game and we will crack down on border crossings. We'll crack down on the border. So that's why the temporary pause. And if they don't do what they say they're going to do, it's going to be heck.
Here's my thought process is President Trump, like him or hate him, that brother is playing a long-term chess game.
Yes, he is.
And some of y'all are thinking in checkers.
Yeah.
This move, this move, this move. But he had already anticipated all these moves, and he did this knowing this was going to be the outcome.
Yeah.
The Temus of the world, you're about to get tariffed.
Hey,
China, serious tariff.
Yeah.
You're not going to be allowed to own property in the United States.
Well, the Chinese government should not be allowed to do it.
Yeah, so
we can't own property in China.
Man, a couple egg roll places I like to have. I'll be honest with you. Spring roll, geisha egg rolls. Matthew,
well, I mean, what did they? There was something that was said about Texas. Was it Mexico or something? And, and Texas has the 13th largest economy in the world. Just Texas, right? So, I mean, geez.
Yes. So I think all in all, we're headed in the right direction. What did it say? He talked about on 1819 News podcast about what happened with Rick and Bubba.
Oh, he did. Bubba did.
So what happened?
Yeah, what happened? I guess we'll have to watch it. 1819 News. Is that the people out of? Well, they're somewhere else, but they have an organization in Huntsville or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that the one your buddy works for?
No. I don't think so. That's not them. That's something radio. Hokey pokey, right foot in, left foot out.
Right side.
Yeah, right side radio.
Okay.
1819 hokey pokey.
You said hokey pokey. You only said that to get a dig at him.
I saw Jamie Grant and John Moore spooning at the chili cook-off.
Okay, let's talk about selfies right now.
Is it a selfie when it's two people in a picture?
That's a fair point.
Just asking.
But I mean, there's pictures of you and I on our intro, but I don't think
we ever call them a selfie.
We've never held the camera out in front of us. Jeez, I mean, come on. That looked a little suspect.
I know you meant Canada. We knew that. We were making fun of you.
That chili cook-off, how did it go?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, for two guys that love chili, like it's our favorite food, as much as we do, we could eat it every day.
Sure.
Why don't we go to that? One reason?
No, for me, I didn't know anything about it till the day of.
It's a poor job advertising.
They don't advertise it and how I know about it is Kyle Pierce's post. Oh. The Pierce enters it.
Really?
And that's one reason I really knew it. Then I started seeing the Jamie Grant, John Moore selfies. Only thing missing that was Sean Combs and some baby oil. That's all I'm saying.
How much money between them two is spent on teeth whitening?
Good Lord. All I know is
how white was his teeth?
You know what's even better about it? Jamie Grant's the sponsor of the show.
I know.
So he's actually sponsoring us to take a dig at him, which I love.
Nobody loves a good ribbon more than he does. He likes to give it back to you.
He does. So let's talk about Southside election coming up for mayor.
Yep, it's happening. So Joey Statham is the candidate.
There's an older gentleman who has said he is going to run.
That's the Childs guy. Sir,
do yourself a favor. Just come be a sponsor of this show. You get way more bang for your buck.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Joey Statham's going to win this
What about
election.
the incumbent? Is Miss Snyder is she running again?
I'm hearing that she has not said that she is or isn't. I would assume that she would.
Yeah, why wouldn't?
Yeah, why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
I think it's Joey Statham all day long and twice on Sundays.
Do you think it's a landslide?
I do.
You do?
I do. I do.
Joe, you need to spend some of that war chest, start advertising.
He ain't got to.
I know. He should.
To be fair, he's done stuff with us for years.
Yeah.
We love JoJo.
And then?
Until you don't. So what's going on with Church of the Highlands there, Jeff?
Man, I don't know. Chris is he said it best yesterday, or when I watched it. He said, we're literally or basically swapping roles. I'm going to be the title will be founding pastor, and I will
fundraiser,
fundraising pastor. He's the founding pastor, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a good preacher. The guy that's taking over as the lead senior pastor there. But Chris ain't going nowhere. When you got 60,000 people at your church, I mean, all across the South, he ain't going nowhere. He did say he spends more, had looked at it and spent 80% of his time pastoring and 20% on the college, and now he wants to spend more time doing the college.
Good.
And
I mean,
and so Hey, go for it. Go for
Man, it's so funny that, we talked Church of the Highlands. We had the whole conversation, and apparently we've lost friends over that.
What do you mean?
What
are you talking about?
We had this thing going on, and now Jason Cole's not our friend anymore on Facebook.
You're lying.
I'm not.
Nah.
Yeah, man.
You're lying.
No.
Let me look that up.
I was checking, man. I ain't seen Jason Cole post in a while. Let's see what's going on with him, and click on it. Add friends. So apparently,
I'll be dadgum.
Apparently,
I'll be dadgum.
He got something.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, apparently he got his feelings hurt, and there was nothing said that should have hurt his feelings. Who's for Jason Cole more than us? Who? I can't understand. I can't comprehend it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man.
I am.
So Pastor Jason Cole is no longer our friend on Facebook. Interesting.
Oh. Are you still our friend in real life?
No, it's because social media is real life these days. So I know. If
why are you gonna tell me something like that on the show?
If I had a problem with somebody,
oh my goodness,
what's the biblical answer for that, Pastor?
You go to them.
That's a novel concept.
If I'd have had any idea something was wrong, what? Rick Bird just talked about it on 18. Okay, all right. I'll send it. Thank you. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to watch that.
So apparently, Jason Cole's no longer our friend.
Well,
but you know what? We still love you, buddy.
You got that right.
We didn't unfriend you.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
I don't know what to say.
Well, what can you say? I'll be daggone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guess that's
I appreciate you ending the show like that.
I'm here for facts.
What a jerk you are.
I'm here for facts.